Warning, this podcast is lewder than a cat burglar at a yarn convention. Listener discretion is advised. Your episode starts in 3, 2, 1. And welcome, my fellow smut sluts, to the Lusty Library podcast, where we drink all the cocktails, and hopefully we'll talk about some really big cock during this next 90 minutes that we're going to soothe your soul. But if this is your first time listening, a little bit about what we do here. Each episode, our host picks a romance novel that none of us have read before. We then drink tons of signature cocktails that pair beautifully with the book. And then I will yell at my co-host Birdie about the proverbial stick up her ass, which now I'm realizing it is being loosened and has now jumped to my other co-host Lex's ass because she has different critiques on every single book.
Well, that's what you keep me around for.
Yeah, sure.
I'm here to be the balance.
Yeah. If you're a return listener, come here. Come just a little bit closer. Have you been a good listener? Have you gone on your podcast platform and left us a star rating or written a review? Now be a good girl or boy and push that button real hard for 5 stars. Thank you very much. We greatly appreciate it.
Oh my God, I could barely keep my shit together while you were doing that. That was so excellent. Oh God, that was great.
I clearly have lost my mind on episode 29 of this podcast.
That was great.
I know you guys want to talk about this book.
Yeah. Yeah, I fucking do. I have been withholding so hard in our text group.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because I just can't blow my whole wad in the text chat.
I have never seen you put everything in a text group and have absolutely nothing to say when we
that's
sit
true.
down. Come on.
That's true.
Now, if you didn't do your homework and you didn't read our next book, today we'll be discussing Mountain Boss by S.J. Tilley. Have you never heard of this book? Well, let me give you the summary. Courtney, I'm just so exhausted, always living on the edge of depression, one paycheck away from ruin. But this new job, it could be the fresh start I need. It could change everything. The contract is only for 3 months, but if I keep my head down, work hard, and prove myself, maybe I could stay longer. Maybe I could make Black Mountain Lodge my home. As I pull down the gravel drive surrounded by the forest and mountains and bright blue skies, I feel something I haven't felt in a while. I feel hope. Sterling, my new employee is late.
No.
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 No. No.
Oh my God.
You're not having my shenanigans today.
Having all of the shenanigans today.
I've had way too much coffee and now I'm chasing it with a cocktail.
That's great.
Yeah. Sterling, my new employee is late. I'm already in a bad mood about having to train him. Still salty about my old guy retiring on me. But while I'm waiting, a woman pulls up my drive. A woman straight from my damn dreams. Curvy and pretty, looking at me with wide eyes framed with sooty lashes. And suddenly, I'm no longer thinking about my late employee. But then she opens her mouth and asks for me, introducing herself as Courtney, my new hire. Courtney, not Court like the application said. And I realize there's been a mistake. I can't have this woman working here, living on my property, distracting me. I mean, my staff. No, she can't work for me. End of story. Except she won't leave. She even threatens to sue me. Fine. If she won't let me fire her before she even starts, then I'll just have to make her leave on her own.
Please, I want you to just read the whole book like that.
Okay, and now you don't have to read the first 2 fucking chapters of the book because that's it.
The chapters, there are, 257 chapters in this book?
No, there were 197 and 2 epilogues.
Okay, this is where I did my first text to you guys, and I'm like, oh my God, drabbles.
Drabbles?
These are drabbles. It's usually a piece of fiction that used to be 100 words exactly, but now it's anything under 500 words.
Oh.
And this is a big thing on AO3 and fanfiction.net. I was like, oh my God, it's in an actual traditionally published book? Holy shit. I kind of like it, though, because it just gives you these impressions, and that's all you need.
Yeah, like one of the chapters was just one sentence.
Yeah.
It makes sense because if you notice, the chapters are every time the POV switches.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, my vajayjay was having a bit of like Tourette syndrome when I was reading this book. It would start a-flowing and all of a sudden kink up when I had to hear chapter 123 Sterling in the middle of the sex scene.
Yes, that bugged the shit out of me.
This, I think, is why reading as opposed to listening sometimes works better because your brain just skips and goes boom, boom, boom.
Listen, if I didn't have a 2-year-old and a full-time job, I would not be doing audiobooks. I love reading.
I know.
It is my preferred method of intaking novels. However, I literally can't read more than 2 pages in a week. It just puts me to sleep.
But maybe drabbles are your way because
Oh my God, I read 65 chapters in one night. Yeah.
This pick is me. This is 60% of what I read. The biggest issue and why I haven't really gotten too far into S.J. Tilly is because she writes age gap. But let's say, holla fucking Luya, the FMC, Courtney Kern, is 30 fucking years old.
Thank God. Thank
She's
God.
an adult.
Yes. And what was he, 47?
46.
there's a point in favor of this book just because of that.
Absolutely.
We rolled into that, and I didn't even realize there was an age gap after that. I'm like, these are adults that have been through shit.
Yeah.
I know there's going to be a lot of opinions, but I think we're going to need some drinks.
Yeah.
Before we get too deep. Today's signature cocktail is the Mountain Boss Fizz.
Today's signature cocktail is empty in my glass.
Yes. It is very light. It is very refreshing.
Oh, and if I close my eyes, I'm walking through those piney boughs in, where are they? Montana?
Colorado.
Oh, fuck me. Yep.
Because you need to make yourself 1, 2, or 3 of these while you listen to the episode, visit the lustylibrarypodcast.com to get this full recipe. But while you're there, make sure you scroll all the way down the bottom and sign up for our mailing list. You won't even need to look for the recipes because we'll email you every time a new episode launches with that drink recipe right in there. Don't forget lustylibrarypodcast.com.
This is a really good one. This is refreshing as fuck.
tasty.
I do like it. I'm a little nervous, but we're going to go. Let's go. Let's
fucking
talk
go.
about this book.
You almost lost me at the first page.
Really?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I hated the opening line.
What was the opening line?
I mashed my tits against the steering wheel. I'm like, ugh. Joey, what the fuck do you have me reading?
God. This book opens up and we meet, I'm just going to keep going because I mash my tits against my steering wheel all the time. We get to meet our FMC, Courtney Kern. She's 30 years old. She has packed up her entire life in her rusty Jeep, and she's relocating from North Carolina to Colorado for her new job at Black Mountain Lodge. Our girl's down and out. She's got a whole $200 in her checking account.
Yeah.
She's got nowhere to live and is starting from scratch. She pulls up into Black Mountain Lodge.
Oh, my God. So she pulls up and there's lots of descriptions of like the gravel crunching as she drives over it. Great audio descriptions.
Who the fuck cares about that?
We do.
I know you do.
Because when she starts describing the hottest man she's ever seen in real life,
I enjoy that, yeah.
and he's got a flannel that's unbuttoned,
Holy fucking flannel.
and he's walking down the stairs of his A-frame cabin to her.
Wet tasseled hair.
Oh my
Fitting
God.
blue jeans.
Yeah, I was like, hello. Yes, thank you.
The setting's got Birdie and I written all over it.
So she sees this absolutely gorgeous man, and she's like, auga. And this man comes out of his beautiful cabin, and he gets one look at this woman, and the lightning bolt strikes. Cupid has taken his arrow and has shot it right smack dab in the middle of his balls. He wants her. Curvy, young, beautiful.
She's got 2 braids in, and he's already thinking about yanking them
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
using them for leverage.
Until Courtney opens her mouth and says, reporting for duty. I'm your new employee. He's like, what? You're not Court. She's like, I'm Courtney. Sorry, there must have been something that happened wrong in the application. Then the dude loses his mind.
Because he didn't actually hire her. His last maintenance person hired the replacement and just said, hey, Court's going to be starting soon. See you later.
He did send his top 3 applications to Marty, though.
You're absolutely
So
right.
he had a hand in it, and he did own it like a good boss.
Mhm.
He said, you know what? I was being too weak to finalize the pick, and I handed it off to Marty. This is my own damn fault.
In his head, he didn't tell her that out loud.
No, but I respected him a lot more than I did after what comes next.
Because immediately he went up to douche canoe level 412 right after that.
Yeah.
He became a complete dick to her.
Yeah.
Very closed off. And she's like, you can't fire me based on my gender. I am going to sue you. She's trying everything she can to stay there. He realizes she's right, so he has to relent. But I love this statement. There were so many of these fucking nuggets in the book that just had me going. The moment I saw her, this creature named Courtney, I wanted her. I secretly hoped she was lost and that this was going to turn into some X-rated Hallmark in the woods scene. But no, now I needed to be professional. I needed to keep my hands off her. I needed to keep my dick in my pants, and I needed to make her quit.
Oh, that was good.
Generally, all the employees stay in one bunkhouse together, and he's like, no, this is not going to happen. So he figures out a plan B. What is he going to do with Courtney? Well, fucking put her in the fucking laundry cabin. So he walks her over there. And again, this is not the worst place. It has 4 walls. It has a roof.
And it's meant for folks when they have to quarantine somebody who has gotten sick and they can't sleep in the bunkhouse. So there's no lock on the cabin.
Oh my God. But did it just kill you? And he's like, don't worry, bears. I have a hard time opening round doorknobs.
But she had no clue. She's like, bears?
Yeah.
No handrails on the stairs, a rickety table, rickety chairs. But hey, she's got her own toilet, though. She doesn't have to go outside to pee.
Lap of luxury. Right. And electrical, so, she can set
Yeah.
up her hot plate and kettle.
But she's missing something real important now, isn't she?
Well, she has the bedroom.
The boardroom, one might call it. Because there ain't no mattress on that bed.
No.
Well, let's talk about what the frame of the bed actually is.
I think calling it a bed frame is a gift to the slab of harsh cut, unsanded plywood.
Yes.
Yeah. It's hard because when you hear her inner monologue, this first opening couple of chapters, I really liked her. I was like, oh my God, this poor woman, she's down and out, but she is staying strong and she's really sweet. She's like noticing the animals.
Yes.
And she's excited about the fresh mountain air and she's making the best with what she has. She's really heartwarming and she's strong and she's doing it. but like you just know how it feels. I feel like most people have had a moment in their life where they felt this way, where they go, okay, I'm being strong, I'm being strong, I'm being strong, but there's no mattress.
Mhm.
And she's just got like tears welling up in her eyes, but she's like, nope, gonna be strong, gonna be strong.
This
Yeah.
statement sums it up. I'm not tough, but I'm desperate. And sometimes that's the same thing.
Yes. Yes.
That
Love that
was like
line.
hit the nail on the head.
Yes.
Sterling literally drops her there and walks away and says, start time is 7 a.m. tomorrow. That was it.
Terrible management.
Terrible.
The three of us in our careers at one point have been managers, and you're like, wow, that's your employee orientation?
Yeah. Ugh.
Everything that happened in the first couple of weeks really bugged me.
Doesn't introduce her to the other employees.
Employees.
Doesn't tell her she can park close to her spot to sleep.
Yeah.
Doesn't tell her that lunch is included.
Yep.
Doesn't tell her what to do.
Doesn't even give her his first name.
Fucking ass.
So poor Courtney muddles through the first night. She takes all of her clothes. She lays it on this plywood, aka bed, and she sleeps. And she wakes up the next morning sore, but she's still positive. So she meets Sterling outside. He hands her a clipboard of all the maintenance that needs to be done there. And he says to her, the first thing that you need to do is go make coffee in the food hall for the entire staff every day. So he walks her over to the food hall, and there's an electronic keypad that unlocks the door. So the food hall has a lock, but her bunk does not. And then all of a sudden she goes and she's asking him a question, and he's gone.
Fucking asshole.
I love how she talks to everything because
Mhm.
I do that. I blamed it growing up on Disney, making everything alive and real, and that the coffee maker becomes Big Joe. Love it, love it, love it.
She's so sweet.
Yeah,
I really liked her.
I did too. I mean, I love her background.
Mm-hmm.
And that one of the reasons why she can handle adapting to this is she's run against so many things in her childhood where she had to adapt, and she lived under not the best of circumstances. Privacy is not a thing for her. She grew up in an RV with her mom. Sometimes that relationship was good, and sometimes that relationship was really not good. And you get that feeling that Courtney's mom didn't want to have kids, and she was stuck with this kid the whole time. And Courtney started working at what, like 13, 14? So that she could help pay for food and pay for her clothes and make her own way.
It's crucial to note that she felt like a burden.
Yeah.
Courtney left her mom's RV, went to college, was an RA there, had a place to live. After she graduated college, she ended up doing maintenance in apartment buildings so that her rent would be paid and she would learn how to fix things. She would use Google, and she was very handy and figured it out from there. So she was qualified enough to be offered the job, and she could figure out how to do something with minimal supervision.
She is absolutely fake it till you make it.
Yeah, he's like, can you fix a well pump? Like, fucking grilling her when she got there. He's already looked at her fucking resume. Ooh, douche canoe, 415, I might say, level. You said 412. I'm going to increase that to 415.
Yep.
Oh, I wanted to punch him so hard in the face in that first scene.
Day 2 that Courtney is on site working there. First of all, he will not call her Courtney. He only calls her Court as a distinction. Introduces her as Court while they're working, calls her Court.
Mm-hmm.
But he watches her. He's watching her out of his window. He's hiding in the forest watching her.
Sexy or creepy?
Oh, fucking totally sexy. He's supervising without micromanaging.
Okay.
It's only sexy if it's consensual.
Absolutely.
Yes. And it wasn't consensual at first.
I accept, consenting, check mark, whatever is needed to say green flag. Let's do this.
And I mean, to be fair, as it goes along, you get Courtney's perspective that she's interested, she wants him, so.
When you're Birdie and you're taking the two perspectives and pulling them apart, you're going, you motherfucking creep. You are fucking a creep-ass motherfucker and you are sexually harassing your employee?
I was going to say, yeah, the power dynamic.
The cringe level got so hardcore when you pull their perspectives apart. It was painful.
But that is why he was being a dick. Not saying that it was okay for him to be a dick. But he was so torn in trying to maintain his distance and be professional because he was her boss that it was very hard because he wanted her so bad. And I came off really dickish.
Yes.
He didn't know how to toe that line properly.
No.
Courtney's in one of the cabins. She is fixing a toilet. All of a sudden, Sterling is walking by, and because of an open window in the cabin, he hears Courtney talking to someone. And he gets possessive and jealous on day 2. And he goes stomping into the cabin, scares the shit out of Courtney. She drops her tool in the toilet, and toilet water splashes all the fuck over her.
On her face.
Blech.
Yeah.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah. And this is the point where he decides to tell her, hey, you can come have lunch because lunch is provided. And the crazy part is she has to bite her pride and ask him, is it free? I can't imagine having to show that vulnerability to your boss.
Mm-hmm.
He leaves, of course, very minimal conversation between them. And she goes back to talking to herself. Holy fucking hell. In front of him. She doesn't realize the window's open the entire time. He has heard every component of this conversation.
So at that point, he knows that she at least cares about what he thinks of her, but he's kind of in denial about the fact that maybe it's because she thinks he's cute or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, yeah, I guess she would care about what I think about her because I'm her boss. So, yeah.
In denial on day 2, he's already calling her my Courtney.
The instant he decided to own what nickname she had, because he wanted one just for himself, he claimed her.
Courtney goes to lunch to the food hall and gets to meet the rest of the crew. And immediately Sterling is like, oh, Fisher. Fisher's one of the employees there that's probably close to her age. Good-looking guy, pretty charismatic. And Sterling already is getting super protective about the two of them being close to each other. But she gets to meet Cook and Shepard and all the guys. And Courtney is calling Sterling Mr. Black. Or Sir.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't know what she's supposed to call him. And the guys are all laughing like,
why are you so formal? Yeah.
You're always so polite. We don't stand on formalities here. And she's like, well, he's never told me what to call him. And then, of course, Courtney and Fisher just start to chat back and forth. Fisher's like, hey, I'm heading over to the storage shed. Has anyone shown you the storage shed? She's like, well, no one's really shown me anything. So let's go. Fisher walks her over there and they're just talking about how we got there, how long he's been at the lodge. And Courtney asks him a question like, oh, so, hey, when do we get paid? And Fisher says to her, the end of the month. Well, it's the 2nd. And Courtney loses it.
Gut punch.
She is fighting back tears because now she has to make it a month on her $200. She has no mattress. She has very little food, a quarter a tank of gas. And she holds it together enough, and she ends up walking away from Fisher. When Sterling sees Fisher and Courtney talking, he's angry stomping across the lawn to go break that shit up. And he looks at Courtney and he can tell she's visibly upset. So Sterling goes to Fisher and goes, what were the two of you talking about?
What'd you do to make her cry?
Fisher's like, oh, these are the couple of things we talked about. And it ends up coming out about the pay. And all of a sudden, Sterling starts to put 2 and 2 together. He's like, oh, shit, this is a problem. So the next morning, Courtney awakes. And even though she's doing this thing where she is leaving her clipboard by the coffee maker that she has dubbed
Big Joe,
she keeps finding it on the top step of her cabin every morning.
I wish I could just do this job. Can I just say, I would just love to wake up in a beautiful setting and have a fucking clipboard of shit to do that just magically showed up on my front steps. Sounds great.
And it sounds like the old guy Marty would take 3 days to check off one thing on the list.
Yep.
And Courtney's getting like 5 or 6 done every day.
Because she's a fucking rock star.
She finds a new sheet on there that basically has a shopping list and the corporate card. She is to go to Costco. And this girl is so excited because at the bottom of the note, it says, fill up your gas tank with the corporate card.
Yep.
She's like, oh shit, great, freedom. She's all excited. But the thing she is the most excited about this Costco trip is to get to go to the food court. She's going to eat like a queen today.
And she's been existing on instant oatmeal, peanut butter, and ramen.
Yeah, that aside, any trip to the Costco food court for any human I know is a fucking treat. It's the fucking best.
Oh my God, she ate like a queen for $13. She got a slice of pizza, a cookie, an iced mocha, and a hot dog, if I'm not mistaken.
If she didn't get a hot dog, girlfriend is missing out on the deal of a century.
Is it like $1?
No, it's like a whole thing. You should look into it. The CEO of Costco basically told everybody to go fuck themselves when they were like, oh, well, you know, we're losing money. And he was like, if you increase the price of that fucking hot dog, I will fucking fire all of you.
While she's there, tucking in the napkin at the top of her shirt and eating the Costco buffet, Sterling's like, I really need to go find out about my new employee. So I'm just imagining this 6'5" burly, strong dude sneakily going across the property.
Cue Mission Impossible music.
To get to Courtney's cabin, and he goes inside. He makes sure nobody sees him because they're going to wonder what the fuck he's doing in there.
Creeper.
He goes inside, and he hasn't been in there because why would he need to go to the laundry cabin? And of course, on her first date, he left her at the threshold and said, peace out. If I get any closer to you, I'm going to hump your leg. So he never went inside, and he sees the condition of it.
First off, he's kind of a little mad at himself that every other building on the property has a lock but hers. And he's so possessive now that he's also like, ooh, that's not a good idea. So mental note number 1, he's going to put a lock on the door.
So he makes it through and he looks and he's like, oh, the bathroom's really clean. He saw that she had some stuff lined up in the little kitchenette that's there. And he goes, oh, it's a little intrusive for me to go into her cabinet. So he doesn't go look to see what's in the cabinets. He goes to the bedroom and for some reason, he ends up putting his hand down on the bed.
Because he's a creeper.
He's inspecting the property.
He wants to be closer to her and feel where she sleeps.
Yeah, right, fine.
And
I was going to avoid that statement.
This is my property. I can make sure everything's okay.
Yeah, keep telling yourself that.
He puts his hand on the mattress.
What he thinks should be the mattress, and he realizes it's hot as a rock.
He goes, this doesn't feel right. And he pulls the sheets back, and it's her fucking clothes.
He immediately feels like shit.
He thinks that she thinks that he did this on purpose.
Right.
That he didn't give her a mattress on purpose when he just didn't realize that it had been taken out and not put back in.
I loved it when he was like, fuck, I fucked up. And the way that scene was written in his head, where he has this moment where he goes, oh my God, and he thinks back for the last 48 hours and he goes, oh my God, watching her smile as she goes about sweeping things after she slept on a fucking board. And then she smiled when she saw the Costco directions after she slept on a fucking board. And she's been so pleasant talking to everybody after she slept on a fucking board. It's written very sweet, like he really gives a shit about her and he fucking hates himself.
So he goes into one of the guest cabins that is closest to the bunkhouse that rarely gets used. And there are 4 unused mattresses. And he feels even worse.
Because she cleaned that bunkhouse, so she saw the extra mattresses and didn't take one for herself.
There are 23 spare mattresses at any given point in time when there are no guests staying there.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just this one cabin.
Yeah.
There are multitudes of them, and she never took one. She never asked for anything. He thinks for a second, let me just lie down on this mattress for a second. And he checks it out, and he's like, this mattress is uncomfortable. And he's like, I'm such a fucking dick. Everybody that comes here is sleeping on these shitty fucking mattresses. I guess I'm going to have to buy 30 new mattresses.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's an investment. Yeah, I'm not just buying 30 new mattresses because I got the hots for this girl.
Well, he buys 30 new mattresses because he has the hots for this girl. He makes immediate phone calls.
Yep.
Then he takes one of the spare mattresses, brings it to her room, and fixes the situation. Courtney comes back from Costco. She's got to pee. She pulls up. She's got half a cookie left. She's all excited. She's going to have that with her dinner. The minute she opens her door, she gets surprised by Sterling and ends up throwing her cookie at him.
She's so jumpy.
She is so not aware of her surroundings, this girl.
Really not. She threw the fucking cookie at him, and then she had to take it back from him off of his chest. Oh, it's so mortifying.
I felt very awkward at this moment in the book.
Me too.
She's like, oh shit, I didn't think I would have to do this now. But somehow my lunch got charged on the corporate card. So she gives him the receipt and she apologizes. She's like, I'm really sorry, and hands him $13 for her lunch at the Costco food court. And he looks down at the receipt and he doesn't say much. I think he's kind of shocked at the situation. And then he says, don't worry about it, Cookie. And she all of a sudden gets really uncomfortable.
Right, because she's got a complex. She's not a skinny mini. She's a curvy lady. And she thinks that he's calling her Cookie as a food shaming.
I think it's a combination food shaming, and then also she takes it sort of as how dare you charge all this food on there too.
Obviously, we find out later she's taking it the wrong way.
Yeah.
But it's an easy misunderstanding.
I love the urge to throw the rest of my cookie away hits me right in the sternum, and that makes anger swell within my sadness. Cookies shouldn't go in the trash. Only men.
Yes. That was a great line.
Yeah. Yep.
This is why we like her.
Yeah. Oh, I felt so bad for her, though.
So in the middle of this conversation, after being called Cookie, Cook comes over and says, hey, you guys need a hand? And Courtney looks at Sterling and goes, I have to go to the bathroom, and dashes off to use the restroom.
Yep.
When she comes back out, the Jeep has been emptied. The guys have taken everything away. She doesn't have to do anything.
I really appreciated them all coming over to help, but would Sterling have done that if she was a man?
Maybe.
It sounds like they really all work as a team and help each other.
Ugh.
No, see, I feel like everybody would have helped to unload.
Yeah.
He does a couple of things with her through the course of the book where I'm like, he wouldn't have done that if it was a man. Come on.
We'll hit those later. But I say this one, I think if Fisher came back with a whole bunch of stuff, they would have called everybody over.
All right. Fair enough.
So the day passes. Courtney's all excited because Cook saved her a turkey club. She has the other half of her cookie. She's going to go. Because the table's a little rickety, she decides, okay, I'm going to sit on what constitutes as a bed and eat my dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And as she goes to sit down on it, she realizes, what? Wait a minute. Pulls up the blankets, and there's a mattress there.
A soft, squishy mattress and a blanket has been lovingly stapled around the raw, exposed plywood edge so she doesn't scratch herself on it. And that's where my heart started getting mushy for Sterling.
It was that piece.
His attention to detail and his attention to cleanliness, which we will discuss in a moment.
Yes.
Because she's like, wait a minute. Where are all my clothes?
I'd be so mortified.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, our boy folded her fucking laundry.
Okay. I like that when I'm involved with somebody,
I know.
someone I don't know. Don't touch my fucking laundry.
And this is where this book was so funny for me. 1 second, I'm like, oh, it's hot. He's staring at her. And then I'm like, it's not hot. It's creepy. And then I'm like, oh, it's so hot when a man folds laundry. And then I'm like, it's not hot. He's being a fucking creep. He's totally sniffing her panties. But actually, then he goes, nah, why bother? They're clean.
Yes.
Love that. He's like, damn, there's no dirty ones.
I don't need to smell dryer sheets.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a good line.
Loved that.
But not only did he fold and put away all the clothes she had on her pallet bed, but he went into the dryer, folded and put away.
So I guess if you're going to do it, in for a penny, in for a pound.
Might as well.
Good.
10 points for Sterling.
Yep.
Take it all the way home. Because that was what showed her that he really cared.
Yes.
And he wasn't just being a creeper. And it was really sweet of him to do that. And his attention to detail, the fact that he
Yeah.
thought about it. Attention to detail, so hot.
Competency kink.
Yes.
So the next morning rolls around. Courtney finds her clipboard with the $13 on it. He's like, lunch was included.
Yeah.
So she goes about her day. On the list was to clean the spider webs on all the outdoor lights. So she's got a ladder propped up against the cabin and she's stretching. She's on the top rung. And Sterling's like, girl's gonna fall off the ladder. Yeah. So he gets up on the third rung, grabs her, scares the shit out of her
Yeah.
because this
bad.
girl has no awareness of anything happening around her.
She didn't hear the goddamn crunchy gravel?
Nah, because you know he was stomping across. He wasn't gingerly walking.
That man doesn't tiptoe. All 285 pounds, 325 pounds of that man.
With those work boots, yeah, you were hearing that coming. You could probably hear the steam coming out of his ears.
Yes.
He grabs her around the waist and he's like, Courtney, let go. She's like, I'm going to fall. Courtney, let go. And finally, she gives in. This is the biggest analogy that is so precise for the entire fucking book. That
Mhm.
when she was able to let go, he wasn't going to let her fall.
Yeah.
Oh. That's nice. You know what's not nice is when you separate their points of view from an employee to employer perspective and your boss comes up behind you on a ladder and as he's sliding your body down the front of his body, you get to the point where your ass hits his raging hard on. This point in the book, I'm driving around and I'm like, oh,
Really?
I was so uncomfortable. I was like, sexual harassment. Oh my God. They've never talked about this. They've never talked about it. He has so little to run on that she actually likes him at that point. It's so disturbing. And oh my God, I was like freaking the fuck out. And I was
Oh
like,
my
okay,
God.
I get it. She likes him. She thinks it's hot. And like when he whispers in her ear at one point, I was like, okay. But then I was like, sexual harassment.
This is what kills me when we read these books.
I know. I knew when I was digging my nails into the palms of my hands in my white knuckle fists as I was listening to this, I was like, Joey is going to be like, get the fuck out of here.
Because you have to suspend your disbelief.
I did. But after I had a minor panic.
Oh my.
Well, it's one of those things we have to remember. We're reading this. We're here for that.
Yes.
You know, we are consensual to
Yes.
what's going to happen in this book. But out in the real world, yeah, this dude would have my elbow in his fucking face.
The first thing you would have said is no.
Right. And she doesn't.
And the hope was that he would have stood away and read signs incorrectly. And I understand workplace harassment happens to millions and millions of people every day. But this is a book. We're reading a steamy romance book that builds chemistry. That scene built fucking chemistry. My name was Courtney, and I was sliding down the front of Sterling's body.
But you know what we didn't talk about? Is when he takes her off the ladder and she finally turns around to look at his face after she's got 2 feet on the ground.
Oh, she doesn't look at his face, though.
Exactly. She turns around and she's like, and she's be looking at something else. And he says, eyes up here, Cookie.
Yeah.
Woo! So that's where I was like, oh, this is why Joey wanted to read this book.
Of course it is.
Alpha Mountain Man.
The following day, this truck pulls in, and a really good-looking man with some cowboy boots hops out, and he's like, hello, darling. And Courtney's like, hey, wow.
What's going on?
This man is good-looking, even though she's now finding herself attracted to older dark-haired bosses, but that's okay. This guy's really cute, and he is flirting. And he's got this delivery, and they're bantering back and forth, and mountain boss, angry stop. I'm sorry, I'm getting chill.
Oh, yeah. Because you know what I love?
Tell me.
She says, and then the delivery driver stands up a little bit straighter and gets a little bit more serious look on his face and kind of like straightens his shirt. And I just knew Sterling was coming up behind me. And I was like, oh, see, that's that little inclination of the power of presence that somebody has that makes them hot. This is where he starts to get so bold. My mouth was flying open multiple times reading this book where I was like, I can't believe the shit that he says to her. Like at this point, we have turned a corner so hard and we are fucking running ahead.
You better be wearing your seatbelt.
Yeah.
Because he says to Courtney, so why don't you go get the guys and have them come out? And he has his hand on her shoulder and he turns her around and he whispers in her ear, I don't want to catch you flirting with other men again, Cookie. His breath is hot against my ear, and it takes everything in me to stay upright. Say yes, sir. Courtney grabs the rest of the guys, comes back. Sterling tells them, hey, team up, replace your mattresses first. Courtney looks at Fisher and says, hey, would you do mine? And Sterling's like, I've already done yours. And while he happens to be in her bunk replacing her mattress, he gets himself a nice pair of panties.
But I love the way he says it, too. He's like, yeah, when she gets back, she's going to notice that a pair of her dirty panties is missing. I never claimed to be a well-adjusted man. And that's where, like, a little bit of his humor starts to creep in, too. And I was like, oh, fuck, this guy is hot.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Later that night, Courtney is coming out from the women's bathroom after having taken a shower. She's got her dirty clothes. She's walking back. And all of a sudden, it had gotten really dark out. And she hears something. She's in the wilderness here. And she finds herself face to face with a bear. Courtney says to herself, I don't know what about it, but I can tell she's a mama bear. And she starts talking to the bear.
But she's like, just think I'm one of the cubs, Mama Bear.
She ends up falling on a rock. So now she's down on her butt talking to Lady Bear. And the bear just looks at her, turns around and goes away. And here comes Sterling with a gun because he heard her scream.
And a lot of concern in his voice.
Yeah. He helps get her off the ground and he wipes the dirt off of her back and calls her Cookie. A very intimate moment where he comes to her rescue again. And he says to her, you know, you got to be careful of your surroundings. I don't know how many times he says it to her in this fucking book.
That should be our drinking game.
Yeah, seriously. But he's definitely shown his hand in that moment where the concern in his voice for her and the sweetness and the kindness starts to come out, and he's breaking down that cold facade.
They have guests, and whenever guests are there, cook makes breakfast, lunch, and dinner for everybody. For every meal, they all get to eat together.
If anybody owns a place like this and they have an opening for a maintenance person, I'll be there. Joey can date the guy that owns the place.
I'm great at accounting, operations, guest services. I'm a jack of all trades. Blowjobs. So they're all having lunch, and one of the guests, of course, is talking to Court. Oh, Sterling's not going to have it. So the guest sits across this picnic table from Court, and here comes Sterling, puts his plate down, sits right next to Courtney.
Well, I love that he's just such a big man. When he sits down next to her, he takes up like half the fucking picnic table because he's gigantic. But also, like, he didn't really have to sit basically on her lap.
What do you mean he didn't have to sit on her lap?
Their thighs are just touching end to end. And he's like, all right, well, let's see if she pulls her leg away. And she doesn't. And then he kind of like leans in, and she leans in a little bit more. And I was like, okay, now we're heating up.
Consent with body language.
Yes, there we go.
Well, because he wiped his mouth with his napkin, went to put his napkin on his lap discreetly.
So subtle.
And then puts his hand on her thigh. Then she puts her hand on his hand on her thigh. It's like a game of Twister. And she's like, if he gets at all close to my zipper, I'm about to have an orgasm.
Yeah.
So the guests leave. They're at the bonfire. It's just the team. One of the guys says to Courtney, do you want another drink? And Courtney looks at Sterling. No one's looking at Sterling, and he shakes his head no. Courtney ends up saying no. As she is going back to her cabin, Sterling follows her. And she gets the opportunity to, after he calls her Cookie again, to say, I don't like you calling me that.
Yes, I loved that.
And he's like, but why? And he gave her the opportunity to explain. And she's like, oh, you know, because I either eat too much or the way I look or what I ordered that day. And he's like, oh, honey, oh, you've got it all wrong.
Those conversations are what saved this whole thing for me.
Yes.
That's what made it romantic. That's what drew me in. And then I was like, yeah, okay, let's go.
Yes. So it takes a lot for me to write a line down because I listen to audiobooks. And this next line that he says to her is what takes it to level 765, and the fire goes boof.
Yeah.
I call you Cookie because you literally threw a cookie at me, and because you're sweet, and I want to eat you, and because I know I shouldn't, but I can't resist.
Yeah.
And the way the audiobook narrator delivered that line. Woo! Delicious. His pause was so good. He's like, because I want to eat you. And I was like, okay.
That almost always works.
Yeah.
Sterling gets to work with his two hands, one of them over her mouth so that no one will hear them, and the second one in her panties, giving her an orgasm. And he says something to the effect of, I'm not going to fuck you, but I'm going to make you come.
I'm not going to fuck you tonight.
Yeah.
Implying a future. I did like learning that she thinks that her sex life previously was a little bit vanilla, and that this is absolutely not vanilla, and that this is just the tip of the iceberg of what Sterling has to offer her. And I quickly looked, like, how many more chapters do we have left? How much more deep can we get into this? Because this guy is alpha as fuck.
Basically, the temperature just keeps going up and up and up. Oh, we forgot to mention, when they were in the woods, He came
Yes,
in his pants.
I was just about to
Yes,
say,
yes,
oh my God,
yes.
we didn't talk about
How
this.
did we not talk about him coming in his own pants?
Oh my God. Okay, because this is like a thing this season. It's the season of men coming in their pants.
Yeah.
And it's so hot. It's so
Uh-huh,
hot. We ended last season with a dry humping coming situation. But this season, I think we've had more men coming in their pants. Yeah. That was so hot. And I also love knowing that this is what she does to him. She makes him so crazy, and he's never felt like this with anybody in his life.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he's basically like, I've literally never came in my pants. This is insane. Holy shit, I'm fucked.
The entire team goes to drink at the inn. Courtney decides she's going to stay back, gets in the hot tub. Sterling leaves the inn early, finds her in the hot tub. We're talking about they go down on each other.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the team rolls back in, stops everything that's happening. It's heating up.
Yeah.
We're probably only in our second week of employment here.
Right. Yeah.
She gets back from the hot tub. She's all happy. But she realizes her fucking cabin is freezing cold.
And she goes and she looks at the heater and it says it's on and nothing's happening. It is DEAD.
Well, ultimately, she wakes up the next day and she feels like shit.
Yeah.
But she goes to work. She can't miss a day. Sterling finds her and basically says, "What's wrong with you? You don't feel well. Go back to your cabin."
No, I'm fine. I can do it.
"I can't afford to miss a day." And
Yeah.
he's like, "Well, what do you mean?" She's like, "I can't afford to miss a day of work." And he's like, "Well, it's not going to affect your pay."
He makes her go back to her cabin. She's supposed to go lay down and stuff. He comes to check on her later, brings her a can of soup.
Oh, so sweet.
Yeah, goes to make it, realizes A, the table and the chairs suck and nobody could possibly use that. B, he opens up her cabinets and it's ramen, instant oatmeal, and container of peanut butter. Light goes on. Bing. Oh, eating lunch isn't included in what we do. Giving the money for the big extravaganza that she had, like all these pieces. And he's like, I just brought extra from my cupboard. And he feels like shit again.
Yeah.
Cue the montage of him
Yes.
becoming a mama bear for her, putting a lock on her cabin door, getting her a space heater,
Yes.
getting the repairman to come out the next day to fix the heater, getting her a new table, getting her a mini fridge, getting her a new chair, stocking her cabinets full of food, buying her cold medicine, and then getting in the damn bed and keeping her warm.
He's like, "Okay, this other stuff's going to have to wait. I got to get her warm."
When she wakes up a couple days later and is really feeling better and looks at the counter and there's just this huge pile of cold medicine. And she says something like a panicked person who didn't know what they needed.
Yeah.
Just bought one of everything.
Yes.
Hot sex is hot and it's great. But if they can't do this other pieces, then fuck it.
This book was written by a woman
Yes.
for another woman. It's so hot when he goes to buy cough medicine for her.
The entire team, except for Courtney, is going out on site. They're going to be gone for 3 days. She gets a call from a number she doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then she gets a text that says, "Pick up the phone, Cookie." There's only one person that calls her Cookie.
That was so cute.
He calls back and she's like, "Sterling, what do you need?" And he's like, "Hey, Court," which is immediately to her like, "Oh, someone's around." "Well, Fisher forgot to pack the cooking oil."
You can hear him in the background. I swear I put it in there.
Yeah.
"Well, I can't do a fish fry without the cooking oil." Sterling needs Courtney to drive it up to them.
2 hours.
Mhm.
And because it's going to be too late after the fish fry, she needs to pack her bag because she's going to spend the night at this remote location.
So cute. Because you know
Mhm.
immediately that he rigged it.
He couldn't go 3 days without her being there.
It was so cute.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he wants to have her be a part of this lifestyle and wants to see
Yeah.
how she deals
Yeah.
with being out, air quotes, in the rough.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. But they have like a cabin. It sounds cute. It's got a wood-burning stove and a place to sleep that's not the ground.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite little details is she rolls up and it says that she's there based on this map. And all of a sudden, Sterling jumps out of nowhere and he opens the door and he pulls her legs out and he pulls her towards him and he kisses the shit out of her, picks her up, walks her over to the passenger side, puts her in, gets in the truck because he's going to drive it up to the campsite. And he says to her, I'm the one that took the fishing oil out of the truck.
He's like, I don't know why I thought this was such a good idea. Because now you're here and I can't touch you. And I don't know what's worse. If for you to just not be here at all or for you to be here and me not be able to touch you.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so hot. And it's also this like covert operation that's like kind of steamy and fun.
It was so cute because they're all going to bed and he only has one pillow and he gives Courtney his pillow. And she's like, well, you know, we can share it. And he goes, well, I plan on it. So once everybody's asleep, he gets out of his bunk and she's on the top bunk.
Oh, this made me so nervous. I was like, oh my God, they're going to hear that.
But he didn't do anything.
No, they just cuddled.
He literally went to sleep next to her.
I know. So cute.
That means a little bit more. Like there are
Yes.
emotions in there. The next day, Courtney's going back to the lodge. Sterling makes it a point to tell the team that he's got to go check on the other site because he needs to see Courtney.
Mm-hmm.
So it's at the end of the next night. Courtney goes to text him, I hope you had a great day. And all of a sudden she hears the door unlock. And he's there. And chicka chicka wow wow at the 65% mark of the book. They finally have rough, dirty, dirty sex.
Was it?
And it wasn't that dirty.
All right, we
See-
got some penetration.
Right. So, okay.
But I think we've all discussed that our marker for dirty, dirty sex is much higher.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say this is soft romantic sex,
No.
but it's not dirty,
Dirty.
sex.
Was she basically on her back and he was standing like at the edge of the bed fucking her and her like legs were up?
She was horizontal across the bed and
Yes.
he was on the ground. And because
Yes.
it's a platform, it would be the perfect height for
A
him.
tall guy. Yes. Okay.
She had to put her arms out
Against the wall.
to brace against. Yeah,
Perfect.
love it.
Great. I'm not saying that this position isn't wonderful and it probably feels great. Here's my problem with this. I'm not saying that it doesn't get me going, that it wasn't hot. I'm just saying this whole book has been ramping up with this fucking hot alpha guy. And he's talking about pulling her braids. He's giving her all these signals that he is alpha as fuck. And I had my hopes up for this kinky alpha. Yes, sir. I'm going to direct you around in the bedroom vibe. And there was none of that. We didn't get any sir. We didn't get any bossing around.
No, we didn't.
Very little kink.
He didn't take control. I think because his urge was so intense, there was not a lot of holding back. Like, there wasn't even oral. They kind of went right in. There wasn't even any nipple play. Like,
Right.
was she really primed to take him? And he sounded like he was big. He just needed to get inside of her.
All I'm saying is that this book left me wanting a lot more.
And I thought we would have at least had some hand necklace.
we didn't get any hand
We
necklace.
didn't. We didn't. No.
I
No.
know.
We didn't.
Or more marking. Like he's so possessive.
Yes.
There wasn't
Right.
even any biting nails. Like, you figure it would have been more animalistic. I think that's the component we're missing here.
Yeah.
When you're thinking about need and want, you go to your animalistic nature. There wasn't any of that.
Right.
It definitely went much sweeter.
But this book had me up until like the 70% mark, and I was like, it's falling flat. I want more.
But I actually think this is just more about him being the big protector. The finally having a safe place to land.
Uh-huh. They finally do it. They've crossed that line.
So he's really fucking attached to her now.
Oh, he is.
yeah.
He is. There's no going back.
Blink, 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 blink. Can't wait for this next part.
The guests have come back for one night. They're going to leave that morning. They're all at the bonfire, and people are slowly going goodbye. Courtney says goodnight, and then one of the guests, who was just really quiet the entire time at the bonfire, gets up just a couple of minutes after Courtney does, and Sterling's spidey senses go up, and he creeps behind the guy, and he watches as the guy starts to follow Courtney back to her cabin.
And then we get the first chapter that's not either Courtney or Sterling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's the name of the chapter?
The fucking creep.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, hey, hot chick, I'm going to go see.
No.
You get the idea that this is a serial predator.
He's calling her a dirty bitch, a slut.
Yeah, getting in his POV was really jarring after being just in Courtney and Sterling's heads.
Yeah. I'm really glad that SJ threw that in there because it's like a boop. It hits you really hard. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay.
But luckily, Sterling stops the guy, basically pulls him off the stairs. Courtney, you hear the door close to her cabin. It automatically locks. And Sterling fucking kicks the ever-loving shit out of this guy out in front of her fucking cabin. And Courtney is not aware of one fucking thing?
Wasn't she like buzzed and almost like
Yes.
face planted
Yes.
once she got in the cabin?
But she's like, oh, I think I heard voices or I heard something.
Right.
Yeah, and then she goes night-night.
But we've established the entire book leading up to this point was for this moment.
I know that she is very unaware of her
Yes.
surroundings.
Yes. All right. I have a controversial opinion on this.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
This man brings out this animal fucking rage at this guy, beats the shit out of him to the point that he's within an inch of his life. Sterling exhibits more of the mafia boss power in this one chapter than I got from the entire fucking mafia book
Yeah.
that we read
Yeah.
earlier
Yeah,
in this.
Yeah.
This guy's never going to work again. I'm going to break his fucking living
Yep.
and his body. My willing suspension of disbelief did have to come in hardcore afterwards when they were like dumping the guy in the dumpster.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And all of the employees basically just banded together and were like, whatever you need, Sterling, we'll do it. I'm like, you are now party to a pretty significant crime.
All the other guys have taken Courtney as their own,
Uh-huh.
too. So someone went after one of their
Their
own.
Mm-hmm.
They are not going to stand for
No.
that.
Yeah,
No.
You know, she has weaseled her way into all of their hearts.
I know. It's very sweet.
But it also
Yeah.
speaks to Sterling and the loyalty that he has with his team.
Mafia!
He says earlier in the book, like, a lot of the guys here don't have a lot. It sounds like Sterling gave them each a good opportunity, cares for them, treats them well.
Yeah.
They've become their own little chosen family.
Yeah.
The guys end up coming over because they felt something a little weird off of this guy, even though they went back to their cabin, was a little worried about Courtney. They pack creepy dude up in the fucking truck.
Yep.
They drive him to a back of a factory, erase all the contacts out of his cell phone,
That was great.
throw
Yeah.
his cell phone in the parking lot, and throw the guy in the fucking dumpster. They don't kill him. They say, listen, when you get out, you can try to call the police, but they're going to wonder how the fuck you got this way.
Yep.
And they drive away. So now, of course, after all this adrenaline protecting his woman, my Courtney, he crawls into bed with her.
Mm-hmm.
And why don't we let our sexy stud read what happens?
My movements are jerky. My tether is fraying. Courtney starts getting louder, starts squirming more, starts to squeeze her thighs together. I keep going, keep thrusting, keep touching. That's it, honey. I circle her clit. You're choking the life out of me. I kiss the back of her neck. Let go. I shove in as far as I can, and she breaks. Her cries are loud, her hands fight my hold, and her pussy clamps down around me. She comes, and the wetness coats my dick. I rock into her, and I clench my jaw. But when she calls out my name, I can't hold back anymore. Releasing her, I lean back onto my heels, and I start to come as my cock slips free, sending the first pulse of my release across her ass. Then I grip my length and stroke the soul out of my dick, painting Courtney's flannel-clad back in my seed. It's filthy, it's animalistic, and it's my new favorite sight. My girl wrapped in my clothes and covered in my cum. Still hard, I push back into her just to make her squeal.
Now they're sleeping with each other, but the next morning, Courtney sees that there are all these cuts on Sterling's hands. And when she asks him what happens, he won't tell her. So all of a sudden, he then starts to keep his distance from her. And all these little interesting things ensue where Courtney starts to question, oh my gosh, what am I doing? His friends end up showing up. He doesn't introduce Courtney as a girlfriend. Like, what are they with each other?
That was hard. Yeah.
The line has been blurred. I think they both absolutely care about each other, but now they don't know how to navigate the entire situation. And Courtney says to him, listen, I think we need to go back to the way it used to be. You're my boss. I work here. I'm sorry, I can't do friends with benefits. I don't know how to do it. And Sterling keeps asking her, well, why? Well, why?
Right.
Well, why? And she finally admits, because I have feelings for you. And that's it. That's all it took. Sterling then picks her up, puts her over his shoulder, and carries her to his house. Now, they have never been together in his house. It's always been her cabin.
Mm-hmm.
And he's always done it to make sure that she felt comfortable and safe. She has no clue that Sterling almost murdered a guy to protect her.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Fisher and Cook and Shepard and all of these employees see that he is carrying Courtney in the house.
Yeah, they all walk up and they're like, he's like, I'm sorry, did you need something? And they were all like, nope, just kidding.
We'll talk to you in the morning.
In that moment where she's staring back at all of them upside down as she's hanging over Sterling's back, she sees them all kind of accept it and be like, nope, y'all have fun now. And that was the beautiful turning point. It made my heart so happy.
Yeah.
I was
Mhm.
like, oh, thank God.
If you think the story ends here, it does not.
Nope.
This last 20% of the book is filled with a lot of things.
Yes.
The end of Courtney's contract, because it's only 3 months long. And if you really think creepy dude is not going to come back for revenge, you're completely wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to go and read this book to find out what happens.
And make it all the way to the epilogue.
Because everybody wants to know, what does Sterling do with Courtney's panties?
Creepers and panties and bears.
Oh, my.
Is it that time?
Oh, is it that time?
I think it's that time.
Sterling Black said it's that time.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Welcome to Dishing
With the dames.
All right, my friends, I got a question for you. This is absolutely an escape novel. And when I read this, I was like, oh my God, this is Birdie's jam with, the woods and the beautiful house and all that stuff. But I could be wrong. This might not be your ideal. What I would like to know from the two of you is, what is your great escape thought, and who is the person who is a part of that one? So who is your sterling black, and what is your setting?
I am versatile. I am a chameleon. So sterling black could be my jam. Nature is not the problem. It is the bugs, the weird animals, the coyotes, the bears. Like, that shit scares the fuck out of me.
That's a part of nature. Right?
I understand, but do I love mountains? Do I love streams? Do I love all that? Yes, but I do not need a hawk coming down and pecking at my hair. Because I got big hair. It could think it's one of its people. That's the problem. But I guess if you find that right person, you learn how to acclimate. Anything is okay. Just make sure I have internet.
Okay.
And I'm not sleeping on the floor.
But what's your go-to fantasy? If you could write your own little one, what is it?
Variety is the spice of life. So
Okay.
I think different situations, like sometimes he's a billionaire. Sometimes he's a mechanic. I mean, but definitely, I like me an alpha.
Mhm.
Yeah, big, strong, brooding. Someone that can give it to me as much as they can take it.
I just keep thinking about Atticus for you.
Really?
Yeah.
You would see me with a billionaire?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could spend his money so well.
Girl. And I think you would love that high rise and that view and that
Yes.
clean fucking kitchen.
You know me. I do like to indulge. I am definitely someone who loves gratification to myself, but it's because I earn what I spend. I'm not really great at spending somebody else's money.
Yeah, but you'd be earning it on your knees. He would be buying you things.
Yeah. You see me in a billionaire, not with a rancher or a
What?
mountain man.
Absolutely not.
Wow. I think you'd smell that manure because there's no getting away from that smell on a ranch. And you'd be like, You'd be spraying the Febreze 24/7.
So yes, sign me up, Sterling Black. I'm your girl.
Okay. Was it the A-frame? Was it the mountains? Was it the cabins? Is it because it's
yes.
so close to conversations we've had about?
Yes. Yes. All of the above. He owns his own lodge with cabins.
Yeah.
He owns property. He built his own house. He wants to build a second house and involve the person that he's with in the building of the second house. He chops wood. Need I say more?
Birdie, how many axes do you own on your own?
I mean, not as many as I used to, but I think the current count is probably about 2 at this point.
Mm-hmm.
2 more than me.
Sterling Black, I'm your girl. I want you to take care of me when I'm sick, but I also want you to imagine me in just a tool belt, and I will be fixing your well pump, my friend.
She gotta make sure that well is running.
I'm gonna pump this shit out.
My God, sometimes I swear we are either like 14-year-old boys or 3 pervy fucking ladies.
We are
All of
3
the
pretty
above.
fucking ladies. But what about you, Lex? Come on, dish it.
I mean, the lodge and the cabins and everything sounds wonderful. I would absolutely vacation there. But, in my dream of dreams, I think I'm actually all about living on a boat.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And, going from different ports and traveling the world. And
Ooh.
yes.
All right. So you are more of hunt on dark waters. You would be on the boat with Bowen.
Bowen!
Oh.
Oh my God, I hadn't. That is absolutely your man. Holy shit, that's perfect for you. Everything I know about.
I mean,
you nailed it.
Yeah.
Sterling and the mountains and everything sounds wonderful and beautiful. And I would miss my ocean and the smell of the salty air and the whole 9 yards.
That whole world for you in Hun Dark Waters is perfect.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow. This is great. I'm so happy for all of us.
So let's do this. Let's rate this bitch. Let's start with the romance. You can give this anywhere from 1 to 5 roses. I'm gonna start with you, Lex.
I'm giving it a solid 3. It's got a lot of the tropes that I love, the taken care of, the one bed, the keeping somebody warm, the big protector. That's really the box that this one checks. Why is it not higher? Ew, I had to get over the power dynamic and really square it off in my head that this was not an abuse of power. So that's just my real worldness kind of inching into my reading. It took me probably about 25% of the book to get through to that. The romance didn't really heat up for me right away because he was such a fucking dick for the beginning of it. I could not stand him. I didn't care how fucking hot he sounded. But we got there, and it ended up very, very sweet.
Bird.
So I am at 3.5. He was so romantic with her, but she didn't give a lot back to him.
Interesting point.
I wanted her to give him a lot more back after she realized actually how goddamn head over heels he was for her. All 3.25 out of that 3.5 is all for him. After I got over their employee-employer relationship, I was like, oh my God, they're really sweet. And the fact that he would basically kill a man for her, romantic. So romantic.
You might want to talk to your therapist about that one.
I know, I'm a weirdo. I wanted her to give more back to him. I didn't see that enough. She really loved him in the end. We know that. But she wasn't as romantic with him as I wanted her to be.
Wow, that makes me want to take a couple petals back.
I didn't feel this book was super romantic. I thought it was definitely a lust that turned into love. But when you think about the storyline of the book, and we really didn't talk too much, they didn't have a full conversation until after the first time they had sex with each other.
Yeah.
And they spent the night in bed. That's the first time they really started to get to know each other. Was it the 65% of the book? I think you hit the nail on the head, Birdie. She needed him more than he needed her. Yes, he did bring her love and someone to care for, and sometimes that gives satisfaction. I wouldn't say that there's like rose petals all over the floor of this book. So
No.
a 3 for me.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to the beautiful, beautiful smut. So how smutty was this book? You can give it anywhere from 1 to 5 raindrops. Birdie, was it smutty for you?
Obviously, I have already talked a little bit about how I was annoyed that we didn't go a little bit deeper down some more fringy alpha path where I thought she was leading us, and I got really excited for that. However, the burn and the heat building up to a lot of it was very steamy. The other parts after the point where we've got P and V were pretty steamy. We actually didn't talk about my favorite scene, which happens towards the end of the book.
Ooh, in the storage shed?
In the storage shed. I love a good almost exhibitionism, let's be very quiet scene. And they're in the storage shed and Fisher comes into the fucking shed, but they're hidden by shelves. Fisher's talking to somebody else, and as soon as they realize that they're not seen, he goes back and he starts touching her again. And she's like, oh God, oh God. Ha! And I was like, oh, fuck. This is hot as fuck. That scene got a lot of points for the back 25% of the book for me. All in all, I feel like I have to give it a 4. I think it was still very good and satisfying.
Lex, what do you think?
To absolutely nobody's surprise, I'm going to give it a 3.
Yeah.
For me, it's a thing of, this is where I just get so flustered because there are hot scenes in the book. I couldn't repeat a single one of them back to you. It's been 2 weeks later since I've read it. Nothing stands out in my brain. It was fun to read while I was reading it, but nothing stuck with me just because it wasn't particularly dirty. It wasn't particularly on edge anywhere. There wasn't so much emotional connection that I was there because of that. But I do remember reading it at lunch and being like, yeah, all right. It was fun, but just nothing that was so outstanding that I'm like, oh, yeah, let me back up and read that again. The content is there, the amount, it's mixed throughout the book so that it keeps you going and you want to read more and it progresses well. But to get above a 3 for me, you gotta make me go, okay, is it hot in here? Am I looking flushed? Do I need to excuse myself somewhere? That gets a higher rating for me. It wasn't there. It's nice. It's pleasant. It's solid. It's a 3.
I am starting at a 3.5.
Okay.
But that's not my final score. It got a 3.5 because I think the want and the need, the yearning was what made it hot. Were the scenes extraordinary? No, but the connection about how much they wanted each other heated it up for me. I will say this 197 chapters, I love the switching of POV, but the fact that it was a chapter break to cleanly do it kind of brought me high, and then quickly brought me low. So it's like the heat was never there. So I'm going to have to bring it down to a 3.25. It was great during the read, and I think, Lex, you hit the nail on the head. I wasn't like tucking into bed, reliving the scene I read in a book. It was great at the moment I read it. I felt the lust and the need, but it kind of got left on the page.
Now I'm kind of like, was it really a 3.5 for me? It might have been. Now that I'm like thinking them through all the way. I already went into it complaining. Feel like anything that's a 4, I probably shouldn't be complaining that much.
Yeah. It's not that it was bad.
No.
And I think there was a good amount in there.
And I actually think that a lot of people would read this and be like, wow, that was steamy as fuck and awesome. 5 out of 5. But for us, our tolerances are a little bit higher, and we're all pretty particular in case nobody's figured that out yet. I think a 3.5 feels better. Yeah.
Moving on to story. You can give it anywhere from 1 to 5 storybooks. Is this a Thomas the Tank Engine? Or is this a War and Peace? Lex, where are you landing?
It's neither of those things. I feel like it's a very meat and potato story. It's A to B. There's not a lot of action except for the 2 action sequences there are. One we discussed with the beating up of the creep, and then how that resolves later on. There was nothing shocking about it. So I'm just going in at a 2.75. Completely pleasant read. Enjoyed it. I can read it, and then I can leave it, and I'm good, and I'm ready to move on to my next thing. Doesn't make it a bad book. It's not one that held me for a long time afterwards.
Birdie.
I'm going in at a 3.5 overall. The extra points I was considering because this setting and this guy, this is my jam. I was like, why the fuck does Joey think I'm going to hate this book? Because she's rolling up in her rusty Jeep.
Yep.
And she's a strong woman wearing a tool belt, showing up and taking care of shit on her own, rehanging a door without anybody's help. Do you know how fucking hard that is to do?
Yeah, I could so see you doing that job, though.
I've done it, and it's very hard. So props to her. Usually I do ask my husband for help with that. He's an excellent door holder. I really loved the setting. I really loved the descriptions of the smell of the air, the gravel. But yeah, it was a pretty basic story otherwise. I think that the background sharing for her was pretty good. Would have liked to hear a little bit more about him for character building.
Yeah, like who broke his heart?
Right. We don't hear a ton about his backstory. It was good enough, though, that it kept me reading. I never got bored. I definitely read through the whole thing and was pretty happy to keep picking up the book. So I wanted to get lots of points for that. And I do think that it's a very easy read. Props to the male narrator for the audiobook. I really liked him.
I think this is our first Connor Crace book for the podcast.
This is our first.
Yeah.
I can confirm that because you bet the instant his voice came rumbling onto my speakers and shaking my whole car, I went, holy fuck, who is this? Smoking. So I definitely will be recommending this to other people. It wasn't my outrageous favorite book, but it was very good.
I am landing at a 3. I read a lot of these books. I enjoy a lot of these books. I am drawn to these books. But I could probably find 5 other books with a similar parallel storyline to this. Majority of it follows like workplace romance. The boss-employee dynamic is not new. That's why I was like, it doesn't really bother me. It was well written. I did like the intertwining POVs. This is the first book I read where the chapters were so short, but you got both sides of the coin rather quickly. As much as I didn't like it in the smut factor, in the reading of the story, I did like it. So it's like you were watching it being acted out and then hearing the inner monologue happen one right after the other. You were getting the complete look. But the storyline is not earth-shattering. It's not unique, even though the book was well-written and enjoyable. All right. Once you closed this book or pressed stop on your audio recording, what did you end up feeling about it? You can give this anywhere from 1 to 5 eggplants. Birdie.
I'm coming in at a 3.5 eggplants. I think it was a solid book. Not going to be on my top 10 list, but it was still super fun. So yeah, 3.5 eggplants. Did I say that they're eggplants? Yes.
They're eggplants.
It just gets me every time.
I'm giving it 3 eggplants. I enjoyed it. It was good. I'm going to recommend it to some folks. It's a fun read. It's an easy read. And it's better as a whole than the sum of its parts. Was it super spunny? No. Did I find it super romantic? No. But when you put the romance in with what smut is there and then add it into that story, it all works really well. So when you've got it as a whole thing, it's much better. Like you said, Birdie, it's not in my top 5. I'm not going to return to it again and again and again. Is this a standalone? Is there more?
This is an interconnected standalone as part of the Mountain Men series.
Oh, that's right. I saw there's like Mountain Daddy or whatever.
Mountain Daddy's book 2 that's coming out later.
Oh, my fucking God. Mountain goddamn Daddy.
Maybe I'll go pick it up. We'll see. You know what it's like to me? You ever have those movies that like you never seek out to watch it, but sometimes you're on a plane and it's there and you're like,
Yes.
yeah, I'll finally sit down and watch this.
Exactly.
This is that kind of book for me.
Yes.
This is an airplane movie in book form for me. And, you know, you go, all right, that was good. I'm glad that sent me, you know, from here to the West Coast. Thanks very much.
I loved being in a cabin in Colorado for a little bit of time. It was great.
Exactly. How about you, Joy?
I am landing at a 3.5. S.J. Tilley has been recommended to me a lot based on previous purchases that I have. Her books come up. I've read the summaries to them. And I think people are starting to learn that maybe age gap isn't always necessarily my favorite to read. And kind of why I stood back and hadn't really dove in a lot of her books, because a lot of the books that she writes are age gap. I will say much props to an FMC who is 30 years old.
Yes.
Loved it. I love the ease of the book. So I'm actually going to probably venture, and there's already 2 books that I bought. Not part of this series, of other series that I purchased and I'm going to read. So I'm happy it opened me up to a new author, and it's a book I enjoyed. So we're going to land at a 3.5. I'm excited to read more, and we'll see where it goes. But I will take Sterling Black any day.
Absolutely. Oh, Sterling.
All right, another episode in the books, my friends. Make sure you visit our social media sites, the Lusty Library Podcast on Facebook and Instagram, the Lusty Library Pod on Blue Sky, or come and support us on our Patreon page, the Lusty Library Podcast.
Hey, yeah, and don't forget to follow us on your preferred podcast platform. Thanks for hitting that follow button, everybody.
And guess what? We're going totally traditional next time.
Oh, my God.
Get ready for a bodice ripper.
Oh, my fucking God. I can't believe you're making me do this.
Doing it.
I
Doing
already got the scissors out to start the rip. I can't wait to rip my bodice.
Excellent. Because we are bringing it back to our roots with Tessa Dare's A Week to Be Wicked.
I can't fucking wait for this book. This is a great recommendation from a close friend of ours. Oh,
And I was like,
I can't wait.
I'm doing it.
Tune in next episode to see if I survive. As always, we greatly thank you for listening, and we will see you next time.
Bye.